angry guy here, and modern women are saying that they will only date millionaires now as passport kings leave. Let's just go ahead and jump right into the video.
Being in Miami for 2 years, how much do you realistically expect a man to make for you to take him seriously?
I think he's just gonna make enough that that we're comfortable.
What does that look like though?
It looks like having like freedom. So like if we're like, hey, I want to go and do this, there's no limitation on it.
Monetary wise, how much does that look like you think in your mind?
Millionaire.
To be comfortable in Miami?
Well, with the lifestyle.
You're a millionaire then, right?
If we talk about my boyfriends, yeah.
How can you tell that you're not just with him for the money?
It's all about like doing things that like you truly like care about them, you know, like showing that you truly care. And it's not all about the money. It's about like being comfortable, loving the person, and if they have money, great.
So you were with him before he became a millionaire?
No, he had money before we met, but like I said, like all my exes, none of them had money. So
that's why they're exes now.
Well, yeah, you make a
Wowzers, guys. Those what she said at the end. He pointed out that that's why they're exes now, because none of them had money. And she said, wow, yeah, you make a point. You see, that's what happens. Sometimes when you catch women off guard, they don't have enough time to think their way out of it, and they have to tell the truth. You know? Because they don't have enough time to lie. Women only want men for their money right now. It's like Myron said from Fresh. They only want their bag. Modern women in Western society, they only want their bag. They're only looking out to get their bag. And as you can see, she is only dating millionaires. She's not a millionaire, but she will only date millionaires right now. Okay? And here's the interesting thing. She said, I could have sworn I heard her say boyfriends and not boyfriend. She said boyfriends, which tells us that she's a sugar. She's a sugar girl, all right? You know, we have a lot of the sugar babies out here today. And, you know, she's out here. She has boyfriends, and she's getting that money from them that way. So she's one of those girls that are probably on one of these platforms, and she is only, you know, offering her services and her wares to very wealthy men. The craziest thing is that she doesn't realize that these guys, they are not going to marry her. And when times become very hard and very tough, she's going to start looking for a plan B guy that makes at least $500,000 a year or more. And that's going to be the guy that she'll use to build her life on, and then she'll leave him at that point. You know, after she's gotten in, you know, I love you so much, and she's not going to tell him her past. She's going to try to cover up as much of that as possible. And like I said, a woman is planning her divorce before she plans her wedding. She's planning the exit before she even steps through the door. That is how they absolutely work. And this is where modern day society has taken us. Women do not want to be in a relationship anymore. All right. That's why a lot of women today are now in situationships. 45% of women between the ages of 25 and 44 will be single and childless come 2030. That's a massive number of people. And it doesn't even take into consideration all the Gen X and millennial women who will at that point be pushing 50 or in their 50s or even 60s. Okay? And those women are going to be childless and single as well. I've said this before, that America, the world in general, is going to ask for decades, how did Western women fall into the horrible state that they are in 10 years from now? 10 years from now, going forward, the world is going to ask, how did American women, how did Western women in Western countries fall into the terrible state that they are in financially, socially, economically, everything? And of course, they're going to turn and try to blame men for this. And it's going to also be another factor because all these men are going to be walking away from Western society. At that point, it will be a normal thing. Men will, in 10 years from now, it will be a normal thing where men will no longer be dating in Western society, no longer be marrying in Western society. You'll always have the simps, but the typical guy will no longer be in Western society. Of course, you'll have Chad and Tyrone, but at that point, they'll realize that these guys, these guys won't be able to do anything for them, and it's going to be, they'll still be running around with Chad and Tyrone, but they're going to be looking around trying to find Plan B guys. All the Plan B guys are going to be gone, and they're not going to know what to do. It's going to completely It's going to completely shock them. Women won't even be able to meet guys online anymore because it's going to be that difficult. It's literally going to be through a wall. Because I've already told you that M2, the M2 movement part two is coming, and M2 part two is going to be, they're going to go for everyone, and they're also going to go for guys in online spaces, guys on dating platforms, guys who just exchanging messages with them, guys who left a comment on Twitter. All of these guys are going to get it. All of these guys are going to get it. They're gonna go after these men. They're going to go after the platforms. They're going to sue the platforms themselves for saying that they're allowing misogyny on these platforms, that they now have post traumatic stress disorder, and that they need to be treated. They need compensation for it, and they're going to get it. A lot of them are going to get it, and there's going to be a lot of new policies rolled out on all these platforms that are going to basically put men in a situation where they're going to stop commenting, interacting, with women on online spaces. It's already becoming a normal thing for men to no longer speak to women in society, because women are saying that men should no longer approach women in society, don't speak to strangers, and that's becoming a normal thing right now. All right, it's a very normal thing for men no longer to speak to women in society, no longer to approach them. All right, but it's going to become like that in the virtual space, where women are going to be even on online video games, and guys are not even going to talk to them. All right, they're going to be there playing and like, okay, come on, guys. Guys are not even going to not even going to speak to them. They're going to act like they're either not there, or they're going to drop out off the game entirely. They're going to and what you're going to have a lot of girls who are going to be so worried. They're going to try using voice changers, and when that doesn't work, and when guys say that's a voice changer, and they start dropping out because they don't want that, you're going to basically, then you're going to have girls that are going to be playing games, and they're going to be completely silent, and they won't speak at all, because they know that if the guys hear that it's a girl, boop, they're going to disappear, because the rules, it's going to be so severe on platforms like Xbox especially. you know you know guys will get banned from the entire, will be banned for life or for long periods of time, just for a woman saying that someone made them uncomfortable. And they won't need to have a voice clip played or anything like that, because that would suggest that every bit of every online interaction has to be recorded, and I don't believe that's how it works. All they're going to do is make an accusation on these online, that something happened in these online platforms, and that's, they're going to be taken at face value, and these guys are going to be punished, and it's going to result in even more Orwellian rules. And as a result, men are going to completely avoid women in online spaces. There are going to be a lot of women posting text messages between them and guys that they've interacted with online, guys that they've that have hit them up on Instagram, jumped into their DMs. They're going to post all those pictures online, saying that now they have trauma from what happened. These guys need to lose their jobs. These guys need to get, they need to be M2'd, and they're going to be, Yas, queen, Yas, it's time. It's our time. It's too long. We've had this too long. This has been happening to us online. We need to reclaim the internet. Just like they said, we need to reclaim the streets. Now they need to reclaim the virtual streets. They need to reclaim the information superhighway. That they're gonna go on a complete bind and a bender. What they don't comprehend is that men will simply create new spaces, and like I said, men will stop talking to women in online spaces as well. All right, so it's going to be offline and online. All right, and the only time that men talk to women and interact with women is when they're outside of the country, and that will only be with foreign women. They will no longer interact with women in Western countries. You're going to have a lot of these women also that are going to be traveling outside of Western society, going to these countries and trying to chase behind these men. Guys, so many times I have been hit up by gorgeous women on like Filipino dating websites. Like, I'm on a Filipino dating website and I'm being hit up by gorgeous women in the United States. Why are you on a Filipina dating website, bro? I'm looking for Filipinas, and you're on a Filipina dating website? That doesn't make any sense. And it says on my profile, I am looking for Asian women only. And you're hitting me up. Like, come on. Like, that's how, guys, you're gonna see more of these women going onto these, and I'm not the only one experiencing it. I've heard other guys saying that they're having the same experience on these platforms that are centered around, finding relationships with foreign women. They're finding women in their own countries now, hitting them up, Western countries hitting them up like, hey, how you doing? How you doing, handsome? Guys, I'm telling you, it's going to become a whole different world. All right. And the state of modern women, the rest of the world is going to say, how did modern women end up in this state? Modern women, end up with this decline? And it's because of the choices, it's because of the decisions that they made, and it's not going to be something that they're going to really ever come back from. It's like every decisions have consequences, and modern women are going to have to face consequences for the decisions that they made. They created a lot of hardships for a lot of people, a lot of men, and there's going to be social repercussions for that. I'm not crying over it. I'm not crying for them. I'm not crying for, because guys, men have been going through this for a long time, and women are going to be entering what I call the lonely girl era, going very, very soon. Now it's starting now, but they don't even. Women are already in the lonely girl era, but they don't even realize. Think about it. 45% of women between the ages of 25 and 44 will be single come 2030. The rates are already pretty high, so it's going to be it's going to just continue to accelerate. It's going to accelerate rapidly, and the lonely girl era is going to be severe. It's going to be 50 years of men just walking away, and these women will never have relationships. They will never be able to pair bond ever again, because they're not going to have men that are willing to do it, and they're going to discover that the simps, these guys, are not real dudes, because these guys like being behind a computer screen. These guys are not looking for a real actual relationship. A lot of them, they're looking for a joke, they're looking for something that doesn't exist. And then when it comes to artificial intelligence, AGI, artificial general intelligence, and generative AI, guys, it's over. It's over, because you have all these simps that are going to be rushing over to these chat bots and talking to these these girls on these chat bots. Guys, you're gonna have a lot of the only fools and lonely fans. You're gonna have a lot of the profiles on this platform that will eventually be completely 100% run by serviced by artificial intelligence. And these men are going to be more than happy to engage with these virtual people, these virtual women, and give them their money, and they're going to prefer it. And it's not just that. You're going to have like anime girls, like cartoon girls that don't exist, alien looking babes. You're going to have things like that. And it's going to be something that it cannot compare with reality. And especially with the metaverse, you're going to have dudes going to see their waifu in the metaverse that looks like something like an inkling from what's the name? I forget the name of that game, but that looks like an inkling from Splatoon. That's on Nintendo Switch. And it's like dudes have some crazy taste, and that's what's going to really be there. And these women are not going to have access to these men anymore. They're not even going to have access to the simps anymore. They're not going to have access to the men walking away, the good men walking away, and they're not even going to have access to the simps who are going to be lost in the metaverse. What do you guys think regarding this? Modern women are saying that they will only date millionaires now as men become password kings and leave. I want to hear your thoughts regarding this in the comments. And like I said, guys, if you have a topic that you would like me to discuss, then you can head over to the link to request a topic for a video. You can head over to the description to check to do that. Anyway, guys, like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away. And cheers.